everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This week's painting video is going to be this piece behind me. It's a solid pine settle. I've already done the prep work on it because it was waxed. If you want to see how I strip wax off a piece of furniture, I'm going to link a video at the top now so that you can go and watch that. I don't want to keep repeating myself because you're going to get bored and I'm going to get bored. But I've already covered that in a separate video. So the prep work's already done on this piece. It's been stripped right back and I'm going to give it a little bit of a colourful makeover. Okay, I'm going to dive in with a very unusual choice. Look at my face. It's purple. I don't use purple an awful lot, but I am going to use it on this piece. As you can see, I am spritzing the surface of where I'm going to apply my purple, and I'm going to put it on with a Big Daddy brush. The reason that I am heavily applying water on the surface before I add my paint is two reasons. Number one is because I'm applying this onto raw pine and it's very porous and the paint will be absorbed into the wood very quickly and stop being able to be worked. And the second reason is I am going to create a soft kind of ombre faded look from top to bottom on this piece, and I'm going to do it using lots and lots of watered down paint or paint washes. So this colour that I'm using is called Aubergine and it's from Dixie Belle Paint in their chalk mineral paint range. I will list all of the products that I use in the description below, as I always do, in case you miss them. And I'm just using Aubergine to map out areas that I want darker than the rest of the piece, and I'm going to use this for areas of shading. I also took that purple around the corner on the right hand side because I'm going to create an ombre effect that sort of goes diagonally across the piece. I use the water mister bottle to sort of fade out the aubergine colour into the pine, so there's no solid lines where the aubergine stops because I am going to be layering paints up. And then I quickly blasted it with a hairdryer just to make sure that it was kind of about 80% dry. And the next colour that I'm going to use is cobalt blue. So aubergine I didn't water down, but obviously I was using quite a lot of water on the surface with my continuous mister bottle. For cobalt blue, I'm going to actually mix a colour wash into a cup. So that's just the paint with water added into it. And then I'm very, very roughly applying that colour wash straight over the top of the aubergine. It's not 100% dry, the aubergine underneath, but it's touch dry. So if it blends or mixes together in certain areas, that's absolutely fine. But by layering this colour wash over the top, I'm not getting full coverage of the cobalt. There is a little bit of the aubergine coming through, and that's just going to act as shading. Again, I'm going to take that cobalt out onto the pine so that there's not a solid line. I also want to distress this piece a little bit, so while the paint's still wet, I'm just going to rub away at certain areas to reveal the pine underneath. And then I'm going to continue that cobalt blue onto the seat part of the settle and a little bit up the back. So the idea of using a paint wash is that I'm going to gradually build up the layers and sort of overlap layers, get some colours peeking through, other colours. I'm using lots of water, and as you can see the colour is still quite pigmented even though the paint that I'm using is very, very watered down. You can see the coverage is still great. So I am just kind of getting the cobalt on over the top of the aubergine. You can see where it does layer over the top of the aubergine, it is giving a much deeper colour than just the cobalt on its own. And this is very much a kind of work in progress, so I keep standing back and looking where I want to add darker areas, where I want to add shading, and where I want to add lighter areas. So you can see that I've just taken cobalt all the way across the seat part, and I'm also taking it up on the back on the panel sections. I'll zoom back out so you can see the entire thing. So you can see that I'm kind of building up to a lighter shade at the top part of the bench. You can see where I've mapped out that cobalt colour, and I'm just blasting it again with a hairdryer to get it partially dry before I go in with my next colour. The next colour is Mermaid Tail, and I'll mix this on the screen for you so you can see the consistency of the paint wash that I'm going to use. So again, I'm just going to add it quite roughly onto the surface. Remember, this is quite heavily watered down. You could see the consistency of the paint when I was mixing it, and it's just going to soak straight into the wood grain. I've got my water mister bottle handy just in case I need to add any extra water to that, and I'm just kind of blending it out into the wood at the top and then the cobalt at the bottom with the Big Daddy brush. And then I'm going back in around the edges of the panelling with the cobalt, and then kind of blending those two together while the mermaid tail is still wet. And then I actually left my piece to dry overnight, and the reason for that is because obviously I'd used quite a lot of water and my wood was quite saturated, and I also wanted the layers of paint to kind of layer over the top of one another without mixing together too much. So I left it to completely dry overnight, and now again I'm just almost repeating the process. So I've still got my watered down paint, I've got the cobalt and I've got the mermaid tail, and I'm just layering those colours up. So the difference between painting with a solid colour and non-watered down paint versus the way that I'm doing it with watered down paint is that it's just going to give you a more sheer finish, but it does allow you to layer those colours up and add real depth to the finish. And then I moved on to the lower part of the bench. I did add a little bit more aubergine for the shading in certain areas, but it is really just a case of layering up the colours, and I kept sort of stepping back and making sure that it looked right, adding a little bit more dark to certain areas, and just keep layering the colours up until I got to a place that I was happy with. And then I decided to add a little bit of white to the top. I wasn't sure if this was actually going to work, but I just felt like it needed another colour, another dimension adding to it. So the mermaid tail underneath wasn't completely dry, but it was probably 90% dry. And I'm just using the Belle brush here just to almost dry brush the colour fluff, which is the white colour, over the top. So I don't want full coverage of the white. I'm using a little bit of water. I'm using very minimal amount of paint to just kind of get that layered look and just add an extra dimension to the colour scheme. And then I went a little bit more daring with the aubergine. I just added some more to the seat section, just to basically, there needed to be more tonal variation on the seat. And if you are daunted by blending two colours together or several colours together, this colour wash technique is super easy and very forgiving. So you can see here that I'm trying to blend the cobalt and the aubergine together. I'm just painting them out, mapping them out on the seat where I kind of want them to go. I'm spritzing it with water. It's already watered down anyway, but I'm giving it a little quick spritz. And then I'm just going to use my Big Daddy brush, and they just melt together. And the same applies for mermaid tail. So I'm just using my mermaid tail brush to apply it where the sort of cobalt meets the left hand side of the seat. Again, spritzing it with water, rubbing the other colours off my Big Daddy brush, and just melting those colours together. So for the application of all the colours, I have designated an individual brush to those colours. So each colour has its own brush, and then I'm using them to kind of melt together. I'm using the Big Daddy brush, and each time I use it, I'm just scrubbing it off on the drop cloth that's on the floor, just to take off the previous colour so that they don't get too muddy. And then I went back in with a little bit of aubergine right in the very bottom right hand corner of the settle. And again, this is just going to deepen it. The more purple I use, the darker obviously it's going to appear in that bottom right hand corner. Just remember that purple is a very, very dominant colour, so it can overpower very, very quickly where you put it. So I'm using it very, very sparingly. Again, I just blasted that aubergine down just because I didn't want it to kind of overpower and take over completely. And then I'm going to layer another colour wash of cobalt straight over the top of that, because I don't want this piece to kind of look too purpley. I'm just using the purple to add depth to the cobalt. And every time I apply a new colour wash, I am just wiping back before the paint dries. I'm just wiping back on those kind of panelled areas to reveal a little bit more of the pine underneath, because I want to define those areas with some distressing. And then I'm going to take mermaid tail down slightly onto the bottom part of the settle, just so that there's not a straight line where mermaid tail finishes on the seat part and cobalt starts underneath it. And I decided the white did work, but I am just going to add a touch more. And I'm using the Best Dang brush because it has a larger surface area than the Belle brush, and I just think it's going to give me that kind of faded out look a little bit better. So you'll notice for this, I'm not actually creating a colour wash in a pot. I'm taking it straight out of the tub. But I am using it as a sort of colour wash, so you can see me keep spraying the surface, and I'm almost just blending that out into the mermaid tail to the right and to the bottom. And just so that it matches the bottom, I am going to be taking off a little bit of that paint around the panel detail just to reveal a bit of the pine so that it matches the bottom section. And what's this? Mixing another colour wash in mermaid tail. Don't worry, I think this is the last one, I think. So what I'm actually doing here is I am going to apply this colour wash over the entire piece. So you can see areas there where I've got more white. I've got obviously the darker purpley kind of tones at the bottom. This is just going to tie it all together. It's going to stop the white being so white, and it's also going to introduce a little bit of mermaid tail down at the base of the piece, which I hope is just going to tie it all together. So as you can see, I'm just working in small sections, and that's because I don't want the paint to dry over the top of my already blended piece. I'm just introducing this as a very kind of weak paint wash, so I am wiping it back as I go in certain areas so that it doesn't become one piece that is all mermaid tail. And I'm also using my water bottle just to basically get that paint to drip away and just give a little bit of a softer finish. And you'll be happy to know there's no more paint washes. Hooray! So I did distress it, and I'm just taking off a little bit more of the paint around the edges and that framework that I did want to kind of feature and distress back. So this is just going to basically make the piece look kind of more rustic, which is the vibe that I'm going for. Okay, now for top coats. I am going to put a top coat on this piece. You know how I love my furniture wax, but I am going to put a clear coat on this. And I'm using clear coat flat because I want a low sheen similar to that of wax. And I'm applying it with the Foam and Dandy brush applicator, which is my new favourite method of applying a top coat. I'm using 2 different sizes of this brush, and it comes in 3 different sizes, but I'm just using 2. I'm using the larger one for the flat surfaces like the sides and the seat, and then I'm using the smaller one just to get in between all the panel work on the back and the base. And it really is easy. You just paint your top coat on, and you don't get any brush strokes, you don't get any patchiness, and then you just basically smooth it out and wait for it to dry. And I did 3 coats in total of flat clear coat, just to make sure that the bench was nice and protected in case somebody wants to use it as a seat. Hello, my name's Connie and I've got addiction to black wax. So if you didn't know, I do love a bit of black wax. I just think it adds a lot of depth and shading. It's going to suit this piece. So I'm using Best Dang Wax in black with the French tip brush, which has got a nice little point on the end. And I'm just going to add that kind of a little bit of black wax to just increase the depth in the areas that I want to add shading. You can already see the difference between the 2 panels on the top. So I've worked on the left hand side and the right is yet to have any wax on it. Honestly, I could talk about wax all day long. Best Dang Wax is a water-based wax and it's very easy to work with, and it's also easy to remove if you decide you don't like it. You can just remove it with a baby wipe or a damp rag. I am using this with my brush completely dry, and I'm applying it thicker in the very, very recessed areas, and then I'm almost using it as a dry brush technique. So with very, very little product on my brush, I'm just blending that out into the center of the panel, just so that there aren't any harsh lines. I did the same to the bottom panels as well, but over darker colours you can be a little bit more generous with your application than what you can over light colours. Obviously over light colours it's going to look very much more dramatic the more black wax you put on. So I did use less of the black wax towards the top of the bench where I've got my lighter colours, and I used a lot more down at the bottom where I've got my darker colours like aubergine and cobalt. So I am just going back in with a dry microfiber cloth after about 20 minutes, just buffing the excess off and giving it a nice sheen. And I did use Best Dang Wax in brown on the interior of the storage part. I didn't catch it on camera, but I did do it because I thought it looked slightly better than the raw pine. And you can just see the wood grain peeking through the colour washes, which I really like. It just adds to the rustic feel of this piece. And I just staged it quite simply with some pops of orange. As always, thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed this transformation as much as I did, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.